Hello, everyone. Your girl Tay here from the Let's Talk Wild podcast, and today is September 4th, 2025. Join me in celebrating National Wildlife Day as we explore how wildlife has influenced human creativity across creative industries. We'll discuss how the animal kingdom has left its mark on poetry, music, fashion, art, and film. Whether you're a creative, a conservationist, or just curious about the connection between nature and culture, this episode will open your eyes to the wild inspiration all around us. But before we get into that, no matter where you're watching or listening, please support by subscribing, following, liking, and sharing. Turn on your notifications so you can be notified when I upload. You can support the podcast by becoming a member or sending a donation to Venmo or PayPal. The links will be in the description box. Now, let's talk wild. Yes. Come on, animals. Do y'all thing. Purr. Yes, make some noise, honey. National Wildlife Day, period. National Wildlife Day is observed annually on September 4th in the United States. The day was created in 2005 by conservationist Colleen Page to raise awareness about endangered species and wildlife conservation. The date was chosen to commemorate the tragic passing of wildlife legend, the icon, our beloved Steve Irwin. The date was changed in 2017 to February 22nd, but rather than replacing September 4th, the holiday now honors Steve Irwin and wildlife on both his birthday and the anniversary of his passing. So we get 2 days out of the year to celebrate, okay? Now, I know everyone is celebrating differently, but the main goal for everyone is to spread awareness, right? And for me, this is what awareness looks like. This is what it sounds like for Let's Talk Wild. Talking about how wildlife has influenced so much in different industries. Some of these businesses and entities wouldn't have an identity if it weren't for them drawing inspiration from wildlife. So we got to give credit where credit is due, honey, and the humans are overdue on their dues to the animals, okay? The animals said they add an interest. Now let's get into some of the wildlife influences, okay? First up, we have poetry. One of my faves, Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven. You know, at first, the man sees the raven as a, form of curiosity. He's curious, but soon he begins to project his grief, madness, and desperation onto the bird. He asks the raven questions, and he just does not get an answer. The raven just keeps answering nevermore, pushing the man deeper into his despair. This man just want answers. He can't get the answers from nobody, nothing, not even the raven, honey. So, I know it's supposed to be like this spooky poem, right? Which I still think it is, but when I really sit and think about it, it gives raven energy. It does. It will, like, ravens will never give you a solid answer, just a riddle or a clue. And you'll be lucky if you get that, because sometimes they'll just stare at you and that can get creepy. Yeah, it's very creepy. Like, you would think I love crow. Look, we ready to get into the crows right now, but I love ravens. I love crows. I love the corvids, but you would think that being one of the smartest birds, they'll, be able to just tell us, like, the demon slayer anime crows. But messages never come easy with the ravens, child. They said, no, you gotta work for it, honey. You gotta figure it out. You gotta think, honey. Next up, music. The insects and arachnids get all the love in this section, okay? Released in September 1997, Mariah Carey's chart-topping album Butterfly is not only named after the species, but also features butterflies on the album cover. Butterflies are often used to represent transformation, and at that time she was done with her then husband, Tommy Mottola, and she was trying new things with her music, with her sound. And in her memoir and interviews, she said she described the era as life changing, liberating. And some fans note that it was Mariah's emancipation before the actual Emancipation of Mimi album. Okay, this was really the transformation for her. And yeah, that's my favorite Mariah Carey album for sure, for sure. Gotta give the butterflies some love, honey. Next up for Doja Cat's 2023 Scarlet album, she chose two spiders for her cover art. She wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter, "The art I chose for my album is beautiful and I like it a lot. The two spiders signify conquering your fear. None of my album covers had meaning until this album. You not accepting me was a fear I used to have. I don't care anymore about satisfying you." Okay, I know that's right, Doja Cat. Y'all know one thing about her, honey. She gonna speak her mind. And I love that it's not, oh, let me just throw this animal on here because it looks cool. Like, no, it actually means something. We may not get it, but she does. It's part of her artistry, and it's her thing, honey. The Scorpion was used as the album title for Drake's fifth studio album, and the cover, not the cover art, but for the title for Eve's second studio album title as well. So shout out to all the Scorpios. Our season soon come. We are getting through the Virgos right now, then the Libras, and then Scorpios are up. Okay, period. Y'all already know what's good. But what I noticed with hip hop, the main wild animals they talk about, I took the goats out, I took the dogs out, but the main wild animals they talk about or mention in their music, their songs, are wolves, lions, apes, gorillas, King Kong, sharks, hyenas, and rats. And all of these animals, except for the hyenas and rats. Oh, well, I guess rats is not, child, not the rats, not the wild animals. I mean, it's rats out there. I feel like we all like, girl, please. Rats are considered wildlife at this point. But all the animals except for the hyenas or the rats are represented in a good way in the lyrics or the bars, right? But I don't expect men to use hyenas as a good thing in their music because the hyena clans are run by the females. Yes, interesting. And also hyenas are known to be described as scavengers that profit from the hard work of others. So, when the people are rapping, saying what they need to say, and they may throw a hyena into the mix, they're talking about like people that are using them, that's trying to profit from their hard work and stuff like that. So they wouldn't use it in a good way. But shout out to the female hyenas that be running the clans, honey, period. Sharks can represent the MC themselves with their hunger, their drive to be successful, or they can represent the industry waiting for you to dive in so it can devour you. Okay, when Nicki Minaj say, a sea full of sharks and they all smell blood. Yes, they waiting for you. But I need the lyricists out there to add more animal species to the list. Okay, it's a diverse selection of species to choose from. Like how you choose your bars, honey, how you writing them bars, choose the animals. Okay, I want to hear some new species on these tracks. Guys, I just found this out today. Did y'all know that according to Popbase, September 3rd marked 12 years on that day? The Fox, or What Does the Fox Say? That song was released. I can't pronounce the artist's name, but I'll have I'll put up the post or whatever. But listen, if you're watching on YouTube visual, if you're listening anywhere, shout out to you. Thank you. But yeah, I can't pronounce the artist's name, but we all know the song. What does the fox say? I happened to get online and saw the post, so I decided to add it to the lineup because how could I forget the song that educated people on Fox language? Like, of course, I gotta add you to the lineup, honey. I feel like that was the universe saying, "Girl, throw this up there too." Like, cause as soon as I opened it, I saw the post. So yeah, that song had the people hooked. Okay, it was a global phenomenon. That year was a good one for the foxes. It helped spotlight the species and had people talking about foxes. And that's what we want, we want people to talk. So the people learn what the fox say though. What does the fox say? Next up is fashion. And I've talked about animals in fashion before. Animal prints are my favorites. Roberto Cavalli, may he rest in peace. I talked about his contribution to the fashion industry with the help of his beautifully made animal print and animal inspired designs. But animals have had their skin, fur, and feathers used for fashion. So to be quite honest, they are the true fashion icons because it was their blood spilled. So I'm gonna just they're the true icons. Period. However, I will say most of the fashion houses are changing. Excuse me, are changing to faux fur and sustainable and ethically sourced materials. And I love it. I love it. Times are changing, and I respect the brands making the switch. And y'all already know the Let's Talk Wild motto. Okay, it's climate change is real. The earth is warming. You won't need real fur. Get a bikini. That's the Let's Talk Wild saying, honey. Period. But I want to show. I quickly want to show some love to the Queen, Mel B from the famous UK girl group, the Spice Girls. One thing about Miss Mel B, she is gonna wear some leopard print. Okay, she's been holding down the leopard fashion print for years. She's definitely animal print goals. Okay, she is one of my animal print crushes for sure. Y'all see, I'm trying. I wrapped my headphones in light leopard print fabric. I'm trying to be like the queen, honey. Trying to up my animal print, my leopard, my cheetah, my jaguar print up, little zebra print. You feel the animal print drip, okay? Yeah, so I'm gonna get there. She's definitely one of my inspirations as far as like animal print, and like I feel like the leopard, like no one does it better. So of course I had to bring her up, especially with fashion, and talk about her because she's that girl when it comes to it. Now, animal art is very popular. You have paintings, drawings, sculptures, and street or graffiti art, which is my favorite. My hometown is an artistic city, and growing up, I would always see animal-inspired street and graffiti art. Some didn't have a meaning, or maybe they did. I was just too young to like decipher it, but I just feel like no, anything like with animals, especially when I was young, I was like zoomed in. So if it had a meaning, honey, I was figuring it out, okay? But some didn't have a meaning, but for most, there was always a message to be told, and that's why I respect Banksy so much. I talked about his animal-inspired artwork before. He's painted a mountain gorilla, an elephant, monkey, rhino, piranhas, and a pelican. Yes, a pelican, y'all. Who paints a pelican? Banksy does, and I love it. Y'all know I'm a birder. I love birds, so I'm like, yes, come on, pelican, period. And my opinion still stands when I talked about him before. His artwork isn't just about what it looks like. It's about the message. What do you see? What do you think? How does it make you feel? Guilty, happy, sad, strong? art can make you feel so many emotions. For me and others, I believe, would agree that when you put art together with animals, it just makes the message deeper, it makes it clearer. It's kind of like strange trying to put it in words, but I hope y'all get it. Y'all got it. Yeah, y'all got it. Yeah, yeah. Next up is film. And in 2024, the Latvian animated film Flow was released. The film is wordless and follows a cat that teams up with a Labrador Retriever, a capybara, a ringtail lemur, and a secretary bird to survive on a boat after a devastating flood. It was well received and won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature at the 2025 Oscars. See, these type of movies I can't watch because I will cry. I will cry my eyes out. Like, y'all really, I have a crazy story. Let me tell y'all this story really quickly about when I was young. I may have told it on here before, but I remember being a kid, and I believe the movie was called Benji, and it was about this dog. I believe it was Benji, but it was about this dog, and he was saving the cats, honey, and the wildlife. I think it was the mountain lion cubs or something. He was saving the kittens, honey. Some of them made it, some of them didn't. I was crying. I remember walking in my mama's room crying, and she was on the phone with her friend. And she was like, "Oh, it's okay, baby. It's all right. Go lay down, something, something." And, and then I heard her tell her homegirl, "Girl, Tay in here crying about this daggone dog in this movie." But she wasn't like making fun of me, or there was no joking, but because she understood my love for animals, right? So she was like comforting, but she was letting her homegirl know, like, yeah, my daughter love animals, girl. She ain't crying. It's just a movie. And that's what people would say. It's not real. And I say, to whom? Because animals really go through things like this, like with this movie Flow, maybe not teaming up on a boat, but they suffer from floods, hurricanes, wildfires, all of that, just like we do. Even though, yes, let me, because I know some of y'all is like, "Girl, it's a cat on there." Even though the cat isn't considered a wild animal, the capybara, the ringtail lemur, and the secretary bird are. So it counts, okay? Now, we can't talk about National Wildlife Day without some wildlife conservation status updates, okay? So we're going to do a status update, some status updates for the species inflow. The capybara is listed as least concerned. The ringtail lemur is listed as endangered, with some of its threats being habitat loss, climate change, hunting, and live capture for the illegal pet trade. Secretary bird is listed as endangered, with some of its threats being climate change, human intrusions and disturbances, direct hunting, and nest raiding. That's horrible. Both species share climate change droughts as a threat. Okay, now climate change is a real thing. We all can suffer from its effects. It just sucks because the wildlife have to go through it and adapt when they ain't the cause of it. You understand? It's really not fair to them. But I'm doing my duty and spreading awareness. That's the main focus for National Wildlife Day: awareness, conservation. It's only right for us to spread these things because the animals, they have inspired. They have inspired many things in different industries. They have influenced. It's like it's the least we can do, right? Spread awareness, and try to help with conservation. It's the least we can do. We take from them inspiration. Like, I have a whole podcast about animals. You give me an animal, give me anything about animals. Give me any topic, I could flip it and turn it around on animals, because I draw my inspiration from them. They fuel me, they feed me, my soul. You feel me? Yeah, so other ways you could support wildlife is visit wildlife sanctuaries or zoos with ethical practices, support conservation organizations, volunteer or donate to wildlife causes, educate yourself and others about endangered species, share information on social media to raise awareness. Has wildlife influenced you? Leave a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching or listening. Please support by subscribing, following, liking, and sharing. Turn on your notifications so you can be notified when I upload. You can support the podcast by becoming a member or sending a donation to Venmo or PayPal. The links will be in the description box. Now, love yourself, one another, your pets, and the animals. The animals already done went. And they said, listen, girl, we done did our duties for National Wildlife Day. Girl, bye. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.